Oh, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Kiawe, and Shukari peoples. My name is Ann Lakaitis, and I will be the worship assistant this morning for Reverend Dr. Amy Rio. We are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our visitors and members, we're very glad you're here in person or with us online, and we hope to see you again. Your presence is a gift to us. We have a few announcements for this Sunday. The first one is honoring Lamas Lugnasa, and that is join us as we honor the land and its abundance during first fruits, also known as Lamas. We will gather in the sanctuary at the University Gathering next Saturday at 6:30. If you feel called to do so, bring harvest decorations to the altar and a snack to share. And for more information, contact Cosette Blackmer, who will give you more information about that. Next, all members are asked to stay after worship today for our community meeting, which will follow our fellowship time. This is a very important meeting, and hope that everyone who can stay will stay, or that will vote online or electronically. Next week, there is a special collection for Time Out Youth's Life Essentials Closet. See the insert in your order of service for a list of needed items. For other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service, or if you are on our email list, please check our monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something that you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Hear now these words from Reverend Deborah Falk. A chalice lit in our midst is a symbol of our liberal faith, a faith built on the foundation of freedom, reason, and tolerance, a faith sustained by acts of kindness and justice, a faith that visions a world flourishing with equality for all her people, a faith that demands the living out of goodness, a faith that requires thoughtfulness, a faith of wholeness. This tiny flame is the symbol of the spark of all this within each one of us. Please join me now in singing the words to lighting our chalice, the symbol of our faith. I invite you to please rise and body your spirit for our call to worship, which is found in our bulletin. Let us now all join together. Let us open our minds to the challenge of reason. Open our hearts to the healing of love. Open our lives to the calling of conscience. Open our souls to the comfort of joy. Astonished by the miracle of life, grateful for the gift of fellowship, confident in the power of living faith, we are here gathered. Come, let us worship together. Our opening hymn is found in our gray hymnal, number 126, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Please be seated. Miss Madia has a family commitment today, so it's not with us, but Miss Sue is going to lead our Time for All Ages.
Today we have a story that shows what can happen when love is at the center, just like it is here this morning. And this is a story about a little puppy and the big green monster. Who wants to play? Wonders little puppy. The school children are too busy. The sleeping man is too lazy. The big dogs are too mean, and the cat is too boring. So the monster replies with a powerful roar. But with unfaltering optimism, inexhaustible goodwill, and a bit of naivety, the tiny puppy transforms the curmudgeonly monster into the perfect playmate. And sometimes, when you believe, good things can happen. So let's take a look at that monster and decide, do you think he would like to learn to play? And look at the puppy. The puppy believes he will learn to play. Let's see if he's right. Who wants to play? Kids are too busy. There they go, off on the bus. And here's the guy that's too lazy. He's sleeping in the hammock. And look at these big old dogs. They're not being very nice, are they? They're too mean. And the cat is way too boring. She's just licking her paw. So, yeah, there's no one to play with. Puppy believes. Puppy believes if he loves to play, someone else will too. So he finds the monster and says, "Oh, he will play with me." The monster's reading his book and looks over at him. What do you think the monster thinks? Think he wants to play? We'll find out. That puppy is not going to give up. "Let's play." What does the monster say? "Do you like to play ball?" Puppy is not going to give up. He's going to teach him. And he answers with a bigger roar. Does Puppy give up? No. He believes that he can teach this monster how to love to play. How about a game of catch? So watch what that tiny little puppy does. He throws the ball. The monster ignores him. And the puppy says, "I'll get it." He's showing him how to go get a ball, how to play. Got it. Monster's still reading his book. So Puppy plays one of our favorite games. Let's play hide and seek. Think the monster knows how to play that? Think the puppy can teach him? The monster looks over at him like, "What are you talking about?" But he does put his book down. See? He's not very good at this. He's not very good at hiding. But Puppy hides and pops out and says, "I won." The monster didn't even know he was there. So he taught him how to play hide and seek. Now he wants to teach him how to play tag. Touches him, "Tag, you're it." Think the monster will play?
Monsters aren't very nice.
Monsters aren't very nice. Sometimes they're not. But you know what? Sometimes if you believe, sometimes they get nice. So there goes the puppy. He's going to play tag. And the monster is panting and panting away. He's not sure if he even has the energy. "Where are you going?" Oh, the monster gets up off the bench and the puppy says, "Oh, you want to race." Now he's going to teach him how to race. And the puppy says, "I win. What do you want to play now?" Look what the monster does. He goes in his house and slams the door. And the puppy says, "Oh, hide and seek again." He says, "Well, now I'm it." He's not giving up, is he? Because he believes. He believes if you love that monster, he'll learn to play. Found him in the tub. They were playing hide and seek, and he found him. And the puppy wasn't giving up. He got in the tub with them. He's laughing and smiling. He's having so much fun. He gives the monster a nice little lick, which means love from a puppy, doesn't it? So now the monster's reading his book in the bed, and where's the puppy? Laying right next to the bed. He is not giving up. And what happens? They end up having a little snooze together. He taught him how to be a friend. And that's what love can do, can it? Yeah. Let's go color some pictures of puppies and hearts. How's that sound?
Puppies definitely are persistent, I think, as many of us have experienced over the years. And love is persistent too. Love is going to find each one of us in so many different ways. And we certainly can celebrate that love is present here with us today in our community. We are now entering into our time for ritual and sacred sharing, where we share joys and sorrows, concerns and milestones. So this week, we light a candle. First, we light a candle in memory of Margaret Edwards. Some of you who've been around for a while remember Margaret. She's a long-term member until she moved to New Jersey a few years ago for a retirement center. And Margaret passed recently, and so we are lighting a candle for her memory and all that she's meant to this church over the years.
And for
the piano.
We're getting there. I'm getting there. So, thank you. So, we also light a candle today for Wyman, a former minister and his wife Maya dealing with some pretty severe health issues. For all who are dealing with COVID, especially people in our congregation who are currently dealing with COVID, we light a candle for an end to political violence and rhetoric, and for a peaceful democratic process. We light a candle in memory of Sonia Massey, who was shot this week when she sought the police for help when she was in her home. We light a candle for an end to the epidemic of gun violence. For an end to the suffering for the people in Gaza and for their immediate relief. For the ongoing struggle for civil rights in Iran. For all areas of violence around the world, especially Haiti, the Sudan, the Middle East, and the war in Ukraine. Now at this time, you are invited to come forward as you would like to do so. Please come forward along the side aisle, and if you wish to do so, you may fill out a prayer card to place on a prayer wall. You may light your own candle of joy or concern, and Anne will hand you the candle lighter, or you may simply place a stone in our shared water. We now light a few more candles for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. We will now enter a time of quiet rest or prayer or meditation. I will sound the singing bowl, and then we will have a period of quiet. And I invite you during this time simply to notice your breath, to slow it down, and simply to breathe more deeply, to feel more grounded, connected to the earth below you and to the sky above. And after this time of meditation, Anne will lead us with our musical meditation.
Our wisdom reading this morning is entitled The Edge by Reverend David Rankin. A religion that promises a life without tension, a life without conflict, a life without suffering, is a religion of passivity, a religion of mediocrity, a religion of insignificance. Everything worth doing in the world is a desperate gamble, a game of choice where nothing is certain. What is love? Is it not a wild and sublime speculation that could end in ecstasy or defeat or despair? What is courage? Is it not a hazardous risk of fortune that can end in victory or defeat? What is adventure? Is it not a blind leap in the dark that can end in joy or disaster? What is faith? Is it not a prayerful flip of the coin that can end in heaven or hell? If I refuse to play the game, if I refuse to risk myself, if I refuse to throw the dice, I am never really alive. I am then only flesh, baking in the sun on a middling plateau, with no view of the valley and no road to the peak.
So our sermon title today is A Faith That Fits. And our wisdom reading lets us know that finding a faith that fits, trying to deal with all the existential issues in our lives, looking for meaning, love, joy, it's always a risky undertaking. We never know the outcome. We never know exactly how things are going to go, what highs or lows will come that way. As I was looking at the wisdom reading earlier this week, and then I'm one of those people that loves watching the Olympics. I don't know if any of y'all were doing what I was doing yesterday. Yes, watching a lot. And you know, I know I'll be able to see the gymnastics qualifying later since I'm working this morning, right? But, think about these athletes and their stories. They pour everything into this. It's a moment of faith, a great moment. And they don't know the outcome. Trying to find something that fits is not an easy task, and not for the faint-hearted. Now, we can step back and think about finding something that fits on a much more simplistic level. And imagine that most of the women in here who are listening online or here in this space are like me. You might have 3 different sizes of clothes in your closet, right? Because women's clothing is not standard. Right? We can go shopping. I went shopping a few weeks ago and was looking at a really cute dress. I picked out the size that, I think I probably am, and then picked out the next biggest and the next smallest, because you just never know, right? And I didn't like the way any of them looked, so, did not spend my money that day. So we might talk also about fit in regards to a career or a job. Parker Palmer famously wrote that our vocation is where our great desire and the world's great need intersects. Well, we might find a job that does that, but it doesn't offer the pay or benefits we need so that we can survive or perhaps care for families. Or perhaps in finding a fit vocationally, we are geographically bound and just can't find a job within that location that fits who we are and our gifts and dreams. And then look at the relationship world. In the exploration for a partner, we talk about fit, someone with shared values, interest, lifestyle. And we have to negotiate what things we believe would ensure a good relationship fit. Now, as I work with people here at our church and people who visit and some who choose to join, everyone is looking for a good fit, a place where they can explore their questions, live out what they believe, and be part of a supportive community that cares about this world. Among our 7 guiding principles as Unitarian Universalists, the 4th principle is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. A free and responsible search for truth and meaning. UUs realize that every single person is unique. Each one of us has a different approach to faith, belief, or how we live out our lives. Now, as UUs, we do have our principles and values which unite us, and we support each other in our individual journeys to live out our faith that best fits our own unique selves. Now, during the many years I spent in collegiate ministry, one of the things I loved the most was mentoring students as they sought to find a faith that fit them, who they were, and not just the faith that came from parents or families of origin. If a faith or spiritual journey is authentic, it must fit who we are, our own unique selves, and not someone else. So how do we do this? How do we discover a faith that fits? Firstly, we explore. Now, another word for exploration might actually be play, because this should be a joyful exploration. We explore what connects with our soul, and it should be a process of wonder, joy, delightful surprise. We explore by reading sacred writings and books on spirituality and the meaning of life. We might listen to music which touches our spirit, or listen to podcasts, or watch movies or shows which reveal more to us about ourselves and about our souls. Now, it may not be a typical show that is about spirituality. I think in recent years, one of the best shows I've watched about spiritual development was a 30-minute comedy called The Good Place. Any of y'all watch that? Yes, so I highly recommend it. I think it's still on Netflix. It's a 30-minute comedy which is about values and the meaning of life, and then how we live that out. And it is absolutely hysterical as well. And we all need all the good laughs we can get in today's world. Now, in the process of exploration, we also explore by doing. We can attend a variety of faith services and rituals and see what speaks to us. We can be in nature, meditate, sit in silence, journal. So many ways that we can listen for spirit. So how do we find a faith that fits? Firstly, we explore. We learn, play, engage, and find what makes our souls come alive. Secondly, we find a community. Now, I want to state right off the bat that no community, no faith community is perfect or will be the perfect fit. Faith communities are made up of humans, and I think we all know that humans are not perfect, are we? But exploration is meant to be both individual and communal. We all know we have our own unique and individual journeys, but our journeys are not meant to be undertaken alone. In fact, if we only journey alone, we end up making ourselves into a god. A community expands our exploration. We encounter new ideas and experiences. A community provides support when the spiritual journey seems challenging and life gets tough. A community holds us accountable when we need accountability, and all of us do from time to time. And a community is a place where we can celebrate, because faith should be joyful. Now, we can celebrate on our own, but sharing joy is just so much more fun. And I was thinking about this yesterday too, as I was sitting at my home by myself, watching some really fascinating, gymnastics, or not gymnastics, sorry, swimming events and other Olympic events. And I was texting other people who were at their homes watching at the same time so we could share together. And especially great joy for a women's relay team and Simone Manuel, right? Just so excited. Celebrating together makes our souls sing. So we find a faith that fits by personal exploration, by being part of a community, and thirdly, by making a commitment. Now, anytime we make a commitment, it's scary. We might commit to purchasing a new TV or a car or even a home, and that's really scary. We might commit to a relationship or a job and wonder if we're going to end up with buyer's remorse at some point. But making a commitment means we are putting our whole heart, our whole selves into the journey. Now, there are different ways that we can commit in our journey to discovering a faith that fits. We might commit to a regular spiritual practice or to a faith community or to a particular form of exploration. Now, when we make a commitment, it doesn't mean that we can decide we can never take a different fork in the road. As we follow the path we are on, our commitments will change or be revised. But making the commitment will enable us to deepen our journey, to understand the value of our journey, and to best understand where we are called to go next. So in finding a faith that fits, we explore, we join a community, we make a commitment, and lastly, we are flexible. The spiritual journey is a dance, and dancing requires flexibility and movement. I've known far too many people over the years who had a very profound spiritual experience, oftentimes a teen or young adult, and then they spent years trying to get back to that experience. They ended up in arrested development because they believed that one moment or day was the pinnacle and that anything else is less than. Every moment of our spiritual journey is valuable and important. Yes, some are much more enjoyable than others. Absolutely. That's the way life is. I've been thinking about being a parent when we love our children so much. Some days and moments are a lot easier and more enjoyable than others, aren't they? So, flexibility will create space where we can find the value in each day and each part of the journey. A faith that fits is not static. We change, we grow, evolve, emerge every day and every moment. The person you were when you entered this space or when you turned on your phone or your computer, whoever that was at that moment, you will be different in just a few minutes when we conclude. Our faith is not static. Our faith will naturally evolve with us so that it does fit who we are. Now, when I think about some of the faith practices I've committed to over my life, some things were with me for a season, and I found so valuable, and then that season ended. It might come around again, but who knows? Now, there are some practices which have always been an important part of my journey, my whole life, really from teenage years. Something like journaling. Now, I can't imagine that won't always be part of my spiritual dance, but who knows? Who knows what kind of practice or connection I will encounter in the days and years to come that will connect with me and will make my heart and my soul sing. In finding a faith that fits, be kind and generous to yourself. Allow space for flexibility and adaptation. So we know that finding a faith that fits happens when we explore, when we commit to a community, when we make a commitment in so many various ways in our lives, and when we are flexible. Today, we give thanks for the opportunity to dance along this spiritual journey as individuals and as part of a community. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Now, before we have our inquiry, you go ahead and start coming up if you want to. Before we have our musical reflection piece, this is dedicated to Margaret Edwards this morning. Margaret, who I mentioned with our time of candle lighting, Margaret donated this amazing piano to us a number of years ago. The piano that Ann plays so beautifully for us every Sunday. And so this musical reflection today is dedicated to Margaret and to her memory and in thanksgiving to her for her many years that she spent with us.
time for giving. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. This month we are sharing our offering plate with Green Faith. Because the earth and all people are sacred and at risk, Green Faith is building a worldwide, multi-faith climate and environmental movement. Together, our members create communities to transform ourselves, our spiritual institutions, and society, to protect the planet and create a compassionate, loving, and just world. We ask that you place your gift in the baskets as they make their way around the room, and you are always welcome to give online at puc.org or by texting PUUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
We give thanks for all the generous gifts of your hearts and for all the many gifts that you offer this beloved community. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn found in our Teal hymnal, number 1008, When Our Heart is in the Holy Place.
Every
Before we extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many people who helped make our service possible today. We also ask before you leave today, if you can take the hymnals and place them on the cart near the piano, that will be a big help as well. Let us do as we do each Sunday as we continue in this spirit of joy and reverence to give thanks, either in our hearts or with words for all to hear, for the things for which we are grateful today.
Song.
Was that song? Song. Grateful for song. Thank you, Gia. Thank you. Each other. Yes.
For all the rain we've had.
Yes, for the rain. So,
For a great sermon.
oh, well, thank you. Okay, all you virtually, Lisa says, thank you for a great sermon. So I'm just relaying what she's saying. So. Well, I'm grateful for this community and for this time that we've had together to share in worship and fellowship. Before we conclude today, too, I want to remind our members that we do have a congregational meeting. So if you will please stay about 15 minutes after the service concludes, that we'll start that. And if you are joining us virtually, this is just the same link. Please stay on that as well. Let us now go forth, knowing that in keeping faith, our faithfulness begins by how we live and walk in this world with all creatures and all creation. Blessed be. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light, its warmth, and its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we wander. May it be so. Now for our closing song, we form a circle, and you may hold hands if you would like to do so, or you may simply just place your hands on your heart.
Yeah.